So I was just talking about what we're going to go through today for the webinar. So we're going to review the introduction for portals, Dynamics 365. We're going to go over some of the features that we can get by using the portal, some of the benefits that we can have by implementing a portal solution in our organization, the different kind of portals that are currently provided by Dynamics 365, a little bit into the architecture for those of you who are interested in the technical part of it. We're also going to dive into some use cases, real cases scenarios, so for you guys to have a better idea of what you can achieve by having the portal on your side. All this is going to be done through a demo, a live demo for you. Then we're going to jump into a question and answer section, so hopefully it's going to be very beneficial for all of you. And finally, we're going to come with some conclusions just to see what we're getting from the webinar today. Okay. So let's begin with a quick introduction. So what is really Dynamics 365 Portal? So as we know, Dynamics 365 Portal, it's a web solution, a web application that it's running based on the Dynamics 365 architecture. So that being said, a portal, a Dynamics 365 Portal, what it does is basically exposes the CRM data to the third-party organizations. This could be employees, this could be customers of your organization, they could be even partners, or any other third-party person that you would like them to have some kind of view or interaction with your data and your organization, right? So some of the things that you can do by implementing a portal, it's reduce the cost along sales, services, and marketing department just by simply having a portal on your site, correct? So here I have a list of some of the features, some of the ones that I believe are very important and are really useful when it comes to having a portal connected to your CRM system. The federated and two-factor authentication. For most of us, we know how CRM does work on the back end, so it's basically a login process, a very secure one that uses federated authentication connected to an Office 365 account in case for the ones that are online. And you also use a two-factor authentication, which in the latest years has become really a default or one of the best approach practices for logging, right? The two-factor authentication basically allows you to authenticate by using one username and password, and also will ask you a second way to authenticate. This could be an email, this could be a text, or even a phone call. It's really decided based on the process that the organization wants to implement. We also have the user profile management, which is something really good to have. So basically a user can log into the portal and manage the whole information about their profile. That being said, I don't actually have to call the company that is running the CRM in order for me to update my phone number, or in order for me to change my email, or any other information that I might want to manage within my profile, correct? We also have entity forms and lists, and this is a very new and really amazing concept, which basically allows you to use the forms that you create in CRM and basically just replicate it in the portal by clicking a couple of times. And the same will happen with the list. The lists are basically considered the views that you create on CRM, and those views can easily be exposed in the portal. So that being said, when we are talking about forms and lists, we are basically saying that the whole structure of a form and a view can be displayed on a portal, including business rules, including any interactions with plugin workflows, and any other business rules that you might have in the portal. It also implements a responsive web design, so it has it's based on Bootstrap. But again, because the portal is a very flexible tool, you can really use any other different new HTML5 and CSS technologies. But for the out-of-the-box solution, you get a responsive web design, which I have personally tested, and it looks very good, not just in different screen sizes, but also in mobile devices. Help desk is something very good to have, and this is a feature that comes in the customer self-serve portal. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the different kind of portals, but just to give you a little peek of what it is. It is basically the way you can manage different incidents and cases for your organization, and it's out-of-the-box solution that comes with the customer self-serve port. You also have knowledge management. So this is basically called the knowledge base management, in which you can write articles, you can post information, create forums, and let anyone participate within this, right? You can basically, let's say, create a forum in which you're gonna let's say put something to discussion, right? And you can get a good feedback from third party, not just clients, even employees or even partners, right? It's also important to mention surveys, because they are a really good way for your organization to get information, to get feedback of how any of your processes or how services that you're providing to your clients might be benefit them at any particular moment, right? And much more. The portal really has so many functionalities that you can use. You can, going back to the way that you authenticate, you can even use social media authentication. That being said, you can authenticate with Facebook, LinkedIn, Gmail accounts, or even Office accounts. That's for features. We're probably gonna be showing you a couple more as we go along. Let's jump into benefits. So what are some of the benefits that you can get from Dynamics 365 portal, right? So the first one, I think that it's the more important, is that increases the revenues of opportunity. So that being said, how a portal can help you to do that? It's really known that by having a portal, you are basically having one more channel of communication with the outside world. That being said, you have one more chance to get opportunities coming through your portal by people coming to you, asking you questions, by people participating in forums that you might be creating, or even discussions, correct? It also extends your CRM system outside your organization. What it basically does is what we just been mentioning. It's puts outside all your information, basically based on the different type of security levels that you want to provide to your data, but you can expose all this information to your clients, correct? It also allows users to access information by themselves whenever they need it and whenever they want. So this is a very key concept when it comes to portals, because we're always going to make sure that our clients receive the best user experience. And in some cases, you might still find organizations in which a customer or a client still needs to call even to figure out if the company has the right or the proper phone number or the right email for the accounting manager, right? So by having a portal exposing all this information, they could easily log in and just see who is the manager that is registered for, you know, different activities. At the same time, it also increases productivity by providing timely access to information. So again, looping back into this, so it will basically allow the CRM users on the other side receive good and real-time information, because the portal and CRM Dynamic are syncing instantaneously. You get the information that is created on the portal right into CRM in no time. And again, because these two technologies are connected, you get the benefit of having every single piece of business rules, plugin, workflows, and logic within the portal. So if something it's supposed to prevent you from doing something on the portal, it will do it based on the rules that you create on CRM. So you don't have to replicate the logic in two different places. That being said, CRM and the portal. It also improves customer and partner communication and satisfaction. Again, using some of the tools that we already discussed as features, for example, a survey, you could easily create a survey that you could send once a month to your clients and ask them how are they feeling about the services that you are providing. That being said, could be a support service or could be any other service that you're providing to them, right? And it also builds a stronger business relationship, because you start looking a little more transparent when it comes to your clients, for you to be able to provide information that they can access, they can view, they can update it, or even delete it or create. That's a big benefit and a big plus for you as an organization. So here we're going to talk a little bit about the different type of portals that are currently available with Dynamics 365. We have the first one that is the customer self-serve portal, employee self-serve portal, community portal, partner portal, and the custom portal. What are the main difference between all these portals? So they're all based on Dynamics 365 technology. They all have the record and information and web roles and security residing on Dynamics 365. But the main features that you can find in this portal is, for example, the customer self-serve portal has by default a page and forms created to manage cases and incidents. Well, because we know most of the customer service departments really deal with a lot of case management, so that little portion of the system is already built in this portal. When it comes to employee self portal, they have a little piece of module created to manage contact information. So they basically can manage contact information right out of the box. They don't really need to create anything if you want to deploy any of these portals. When it comes to community portals has the features such as survey, forums, and even knowledge-based management, right? So these features come out of the box with all these different portals, but they are specific to the ones that they are related based on the type of service that they provide. The partner portal also provides information about account management, right? That being said, a partner will usually, or is going to be an account record within your CRM system, so it gives them access to edit or update any of the information that you have in your system for them. And the custom portal, it's basically a portal that comes empty. There is really nothing in the portal, but you can customize it as you wish. And now again, going back, even if you have a customer or a community or an employee portal, you can still customize as you wish. So there is no restriction of the type of portal that you choose. It's just the benefits that you get right away, correct? So we're going to talk a little bit about how the portal it's meant to work, how the portal is architecture, and what are the different scenarios and how the people interact with the portal. So as you can see in the graph, I'm not sure if it's big enough for all of you guys to see, but you see that Dynamics CRM is the center of everything. And the reason for this is because the portal resides on Dynamics CRM. Everything that it's created within the portal, it's part of Dynamics 365. So it makes sense to have this kind of graphic. So now, what the portal does is, as we talked before, it exposes the data from CRM by having authenticated users log in and provided them the right data that they are associated based on web roles and security permissions, correct? So now, who can benefit from a portal being exposed outside? So you can see here in the graph customers, because they could easily access their information and manage or create cases, if that's the case. Employees who can easily access, look at calendar, see any new tasks that they might be having for the day. Partners, because they might want to create new opportunities with your organization, and being able to track all that information directly on their own without you having to send Excel files or updates every time. And that being said, how is the portal accessible? So you can access the portal through a web browser and use any of the different devices commonly used nowadays. We're talking about desktop, laptops, and any other mobile devices such as tablets or cell phones. And since we mentioned that the portal has a responsive design, it will look very, very good, if not great, once implemented. And on the other side of the business exposure, you have the customer service department here at the top. So what the customer service department will basically benefit, it's having the information handy and in the timely basis. So let's imagine the case in which a customer will go into your portal and create a case. As soon as the case is created, because we said that it's synced with Dynamics CRM, you can have a little workflow that will trigger an alert for someone in your customer service department. So as soon as a case is created, someone in your customer service department will be alerted to go and take care of the case that was recently created, right? And the same for the sales and the marketing people, because they could benefit of all this traction. Again, the portal is a very powerful tool that could even get information as from where you are logging in, how long you've been logging in the system, what pages have you been looking at, and all the different interactions. So that means a salesperson can benefit from knowing that someone has been looking around some products or services that your company offers, and then obviously create some maybe communication or interaction with this customer just to see what's the level of interest they have on certain products or services, correct? So that's about the portal. And just something to mention about the portal is that the key functionality for the entire portal is that any contact record that is on CRM can potentially be a user of the portal, correct? Let's go into the use cases. Let's see some quick examples of what we can do and what we can achieve by having the portal on our side. So we're gonna do a little account and contact management. And within account and contact management, we're going to update an email for a current user, so the user that logs in. We're also going to create the functionality to create contacts. So let's say we don't have a functionality to create new contacts, we're going to create that. Let's also create a new contact once we have the functionality, and let's update an account number. Let's say in this case a company number, phone number. We're also going to use the case management functionality for this, and let's create a new case and let's resolve it. Let's close it. I'm going to quickly change the screens here, and I'm going to go to Chrome. Can everybody see my screen still, right? Okay. So as you can see in here, what I have in the portal, as you can see, this is not our current CRM Dynamics website. This is just a replication of it, and it gives you kind of an idea of what you can have with the portal, right? At this point, you can see I was able to somehow replicate our current CRM Dynamics website, make it look alike, but you can basically give it the look that you want, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to start using the portal, and for that I have previously created 2 users. And the reason for 2 users is because I want to show you the different level of access that you can provide to your users or customers or employees, correct? The first user that I'm going to use is a user that has basic access. This is just a user that I want them to do contact management, so basically to manage their own information and just being able to create cases on behalf of the company, correct? So let's start. So I go to sign in, and my information is already here. So I'm just going to make sure the password is correct, and then I'm logging in. And again, here you can have an example of what you can sign in, also using Azure AD, and any other outside authentication can also be implemented. Sign in. So let's give it a little second to finish loading. And there it goes. So as you can see, the portal has already logged me in. And again, the page that you are displayed upon logged in successfully, it could be managed too. So I decided to display my home page, but you can change that to redirect to anywhere you want. So we're going to go and look at the user page first. So within the user page, just give me a second. I need to move this one a little bit here. Okay. So within the user page, you have some information that you can use. So in this case, for my user, I have information about my username. I have information about the type of web roles that I have here, and I also have some information about the different type of communication that I can have through email, faxes. And again, this is a page that it's deployed from CRM. So these are actually forms that your CRM users can see on the CRM, but you can also expose it here on the portal, right? So once I review the information is proper, I'll just click next. And once I click next, the second page, it's basically showing me information about the contact, right? Now, again, this is just an out-of-the-box forms that we have, but obviously you can extend all these different functionalities. So here on my form, I have some information about my profile. So it's telling me that I belong to this company, CRM Dynamics. My first name is Oscar, middle name Joseph, last name Rabines. And as we agree, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my cell phone number. And just as simple as changing that information, I can click submit. And my form will be submitted. I just have a little green message on the top telling me that my account has been updated. And again, if you look at the cell phone number, we're going to go and check on CRM. So I am currently here on my account, and I want to look for my account. Let's look for my account, and let's see if the information has been updated. So we're going to open my record. And you can see that my phone number has been updated. So this is a real-time update. So imagine you being able to provide this level of information to your customers and just access the portal and instantaneously get all that feedback. So now within CRM, I could have triggered a process that will send an email in case someone updates any information, but that's based on the different business processes or rules that you might have in your organization, correct? So something else that I can do here, because I only have access to user and cases, it's go to cases. Let's see, we're gonna go to cases, and I don't have any cases at this moment. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a case, correct? I'm gonna go click create a case. And once I create a case, I'm basically display a form. Again, this is a form that it's in the portal, but this form, it's in CRM. So you can easily create any forms and just expose it in here. So I'm gonna call test for webinar. So again, by default, the system knows that I belong to this organization and I am the contact that is creating the case. In case I have any services that I'm providing to my clients, I can say like this is going to be a case about live chat. And let's say I have a support agreement with my client. So I'll say I'm going to use this entitlement in order to execute the case. The case type in this case, let's say, is a question, and the subject is just a default subject. You can easily update all this. And I'm going to say this is a test for the webinar. And just by clicking submit again, your record will be created. So now if we go back to the account and we look for the cases, here it goes. The case has just been created for this account. So the information flows instantaneously into CRM, so you have all the benefit of having that in the real time. Now again, if I am the one that is creating the case here on the portal, I can easily go inside the system and view the details. I want to see how the case is going. So now if you pay attention a little bit before, this is basically the same form that we had before. The only difference is that this form has some read-only permissions. For example, the case number has been set to be read-only. Why? Because we don't want to have the customer changing the case number, correct? The last update or the customer, we don't want them to update that either, because that's very sensitive but valuable information for the casing, correct? But besides that, we are allowing our customer to update the case. They can close the case, they can resolve the case, or even cancel the case in case it was solved, correct? And this is one of the portal users that I created. So again, it's only having access to user and cases, but we're going to go into another portal user that has more functionalities, more access to the portal. Let's take a look at this. Here, again, I'm just opening in a different browser, and I'm going to log in with a different user. In this case, I'm going to have a user that has administrative privileges into the portal, so he can do much more than the previous user. Again, this user is again under CRM Dynamics account, so he has access to some of the information that the other user has. From the very beginning, you can see some differences. Like this user has access to the user profile management. He has access to company management, which is basically the account management. He has access to manage contact information for the organization, and also access to create cases. Again, and a couple of differences that you can see here is, for example, this little square bubble that it's there floating. And the reason for this is because I have a different web role associated to this account. And what it basically does, it gives me access to, let's say, I can create new pages, I can create forums, I can do much more than the previous account could do. Correct? So let's do again, you already seen how the contact management works. So again, we have the same page exposed to them. But now, because we have a higher level of permission, we want to update some information about that account. So we go to company, and here's all the information about that company. Again, the level of information that the customer can update, it's up to you. You could let them go as far as updating the name of the company, or maybe just as little as only update the address, right? It's really up to how you want to handle your business in this sense. So what we're going to do in this case is, let's say we're going to add a phone number. Right. So we just add the phone number that it's ending in, let's make it end in 555. So it's a little easier. And let's submit it. Again, so we got the confirmation that the record was submitted. And if we go back here to the account, we just need to, basically it's a different phone number. So all we really have to do is just refresh this screen and we'll see that we should be able to see the 55 phone number entering. Well, this is loading. I also want to mention something. When it comes to the forms being exposed to the portal, you can use multi-step forms, right? So that being said, when you have a form in CRM Dynamics, you can have different tabs in the form, and each one of those different tabs could be one page in your form, and your form will not be submitted until you go through all those different tabs or pages, right? So where is my phone information? Okay, so probably I need to update a little more. And sometimes they might happen because it's a caching issue. It just takes a couple of seconds to do it. But while we're waiting for that, I want to show you how that part of the multi-page format works. So just going back to the previous user for a second, and you see here you have a next button. Instead of actually having a submit button, which it's for a single page, you have a next page. And all it does is it really moves from tab to tab within the form that you created in CRM. Correct? I probably don't have the same phone number. It might not be the same record here, but let's update something here. Let's update the name. CRM Ltd2. That might be a different field that I have on the form. That's why it's not updating. Okay, so we change the name. Now we should be able to see the name change. Just bear with me as it moves. So again, you see, like the name has just been changed to CRM Ltd2, and the problem with the phone number is probably that I'm not exposing the right field on the form on the actual portal, and that's why it's not updating. And yeah, that's basically what you can do for account management. So you can have different access to manage accounts. So now again, we already seen the cases. And I'm just going to give you a quick example of how the different level of security can work for a case management. Let's say, because I am an administrator for the CRM Dynamics account, I can see the case that Oscar Rabines created, right? But I'm going to create one case on my own. I'm going to call it test 2, just to make it quick. Select the product. I'm going to select an entitlement. Now, you don't have to select all of this. You don't have to select all of this, but it's up to how you manage your process of case incidents. Test. And I'm going to submit this. So again, once I submit it now, because I'm a manager, I can see that I have 2 cases on behalf of CRM Dynamics account, one that was created by Oscar and one that was created by CRMD support. Let me just flip a little quick into here, and I'm going to go into the cases for the user, from the previous user that only has basic access. So as you can see here for this user, just bear with me as it loads. It's not really slow. My internet connection might be a little slow here. Let me go to cases. So again here, as you can see here in cases for a user that has basic access, he can only use and manage the cases that he created. However, for a user with a higher level, I can see and I can manage even cases that are created by other users that belong to my organization, correct? So that's a pretty good example of how entity permissions work with the portal. And now, here's another good feature that you might have. You can also download a list of all the cases, right? By just clicking download, it will give you a list of all the cases that are currently open or have any particular criteria within this record. And again, because these are just simply views from CRM Dynamics, what you can do is you can expose different type of views. In this case, the view that we're seeing by default is like all cases. So I can see what cases have been closed, and it will show me none because I haven't closed any cases. And it will show me all the ones that are open, which are 2. correct? So we're going to do a quick exercise of how I can add new functionalities to a page. So we're going to go to contact, right? And I want to create a contact because I am the administrator for this account. But I don't have an option to create a contact here. Well, let's go and configure this function. So what we're going to do is we have talked about how forms and how views can be exposed into the portal. So what we are seeing right now is a list of contacts, which is basically a view. So what I have to do is I have to go inside my CRM system. And once you install a portal, the portal will add a new portal module within your CRM system. And all you have to do from this point on is go to entity list. That's where the views are stored for the portal. So I'll go into an entity list, which is what I already had in the back, and I have to look for the list that I want to update. In this case, the list that I'm exposing on the portal is the contact list. So I'll go to custom portal, my contacts. And in some cases, you might ask why I name it custom portal is because you can have multiple portals installed on your CRM, but only one portal can run at a time, correct? So I'll open my entity list. Just bear with me a little bit here because it loads a lot of components. There are very, very advanced components, so it takes a little bit of time here. It's just loading here, this section. As you can see here, I can easily add more views. This is just an active contacts view, and in active contacts, I can add more views, but that's already created. So what I want to do now is I want to add the functionality to create a new contact. So I'll come all the way here where it says grid configuration. So in grid configuration, what I have so far, I have the download button added, which is exactly what you can see here, the download button. So I'm going to add the create button. So I'm just going to click create. It's going to add a new create button here, and it's going to tell me to select between an entity form and a web page. What is the difference between an entity form and an entity web page? An entity form is basically a CRM form that will be displayed on a pop-up. A web page is a CRM form that it's first added to a page and then display just as a regular page on the system, not as a pop-up. So what I'm going to do just to change it a little bit, I'm going to use it just as an entity form, correct? And as an entity form, now it's going to ask me which entity form do I want to use? Do I want to use the edit contact, the details contact, or I want to use the create contact? I want to use the create contact form. So I'll select create contact. I don't need to enter any labels, or I could do it if I want. And I'm just going to save this. So once it's saved, we're going to go again back to the portal and just refresh this page. Let's click contact again. And there it goes. You have now the create functionality for the portal. So now, this is a very simple way to do it. Now, you could have more advanced functionalities, add permissions, right? Saying like, if the contact is it's an administrator, then show the button. If it's not, then don't display it, and so on, right? But for the demo, we're just showing how easy it is to add functionalities to the portal, how easy it is to remove functionalities from the portal. And again, I'm going to click create. And as you can see, it's basically the same form that it was displaying me before. It's exactly the same form. It just looks, it's just basically on a pop-up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a contact. I'm going to call the contact Joe. And basically, yeah, it's by default taking the company name that I have because it knows I'm creating contacts on behalf of my company. And I'm just going to click submit. Oh, here it goes. I got an error message. And this is a good example of what the CRM, the portal can do. By default, when I create CRM forms, I can set different attributes to be required to be optionals. In this case, my last name is a required form coming from CRM. So even when I use the form in the portal, the system will prevent me from creating the record if I don't have all the right information. Correct? It's telling me that the last name is required, so I'll enter, I'll enter the last name. And I want to make sure there is no more required fields, everything is good, and yep, I'll go submit it. So once I submit it, and again, so here's a good example of the kind of functionality you get, right? Because I didn't set up many more things for the forms. What it's doing is basically just redirecting within the same pop-up, right? But as you can see here, And this is a good example of how the responsiveness of the site works. You can see the responsiveness, it looks really good. And you can see here the record that was created. So what I can do is, obviously, when I save the record, I could close the pop-up and redirect to the other page, but that just needs a little bit more of configuration, maybe a couple of more clicks, and that will be done. But let's just refresh this page. Let's just refresh context. And here you go. You have John Doe that it's already created, right? And now Joe Doe can go inside the system and update their own information, because you probably don't have all information at the moment that you create it, so you can provide them access to do this, correct? So that's basically it for the portal demo today, just like quick overview of what you can achieve. And as you can see, like we create a functionality, we were able to update a contact, we were able to update an account record, create a case, and so on and so on, and even see the different type of accounts I have, right? And some really good features that I would like to show you here is because this record has an admin access, I'm actually even able to see what I'm going to display. Let's say I don't want to show contacts anymore. So I can easily remove this and save it. So my contact list is no longer available even for me. So it's a really simple and easy way to handle, to manage your website content and also the content that comes from your CRM system, correct? So let's go back to our PowerPoint presentation. And now it's time for questions and answers.
Oscar, thank you so much for putting on that presentation. We'll give a few minutes for everyone to put in their questions into the question box. We've answered what we can, but we'll just wait a few minutes, and then if there's anything we can answer either on the line, if not, we can always take it away. And feel free to send us an email. Oscar, I don't know if you want to put your contact details up again, but also
Sure.
For all our past webinars, you guys are welcome. Ladies and guys are welcome to email myself as well, angelina.jacobs@crmdynamics.com. We also have one of our account executives you can contact. It's up on the screen here, and that's Brendan. So feel free, take down the contact information and send us an email. We're happy to help. So Oscar, there are a few questions just coming in. If you want to just take a look, and we can answer them right on the line.
Okay. Now let me see what I have here. So there's one. He says, is the portal configuration stored in an entity in CRM, basically? Yes. The entire configuration of the portal, it's storing that in the entity. I can show you really quickly. If you go here, like I said, if you install a portal, you basically get this new portal module, and all that configuration when it comes to web pages, web templates, entity lists, which are basically the views, entity forms, and websites, page templates, redirections, the site maker. So every single piece of information that makes up your portal, it's stored here on CRM. I'm having a little bit of trouble reading the questions here. It's very small. Okay, so there's a question about the allowance that you have here on the portal. So it does not only allow to work with contacts, cases, or account, it basically allows access to any entity, even the custom entities that you create. So there is no restriction of what level of information you can provide. The cases that I show are just like the most commonly used cases as a contact management, account management, and case management. But even if you create an address entity or something else, you can expose it to your clients or customers. There is no restriction in that sense.
All right, we are just reaching our 45-minute mark, so I hate to cut anyone off, but we want to make sure we have efficient use of your time and that you're able to continue on your day. We do have a few questions. It looks like they're still coming in. Feel free to type them in, and we can get to them even after this webinar and send you a personal message. So please continue asking things. Otherwise, I want to thank you all for attending today. Oscar, thank you so much for that presentation. It's